Don Steele. Hello, Don Steele.
Good afternoon, Brian.
And good evening on this coast. Good afternoon to you out on the West Coast, out there in L.A.
They make movies in my neighborhood. Blow was filmed at the house across the street. Ali was filmed one house down from me. So it looks like back east, and they don't have to move the whole film crew back there.
Wow. That's very cool. No, I'm not familiar with that area. I've been out there, but not to that particular area.
Nobody knows where Whittier is. Nobody.
It's where Richard Nixon.
Tricky Dick Nixon's hometown. That's right.
Yeah.
We have removed everything that says Nixon on it, though, and burned it in a big bonfire.
Is there a Nixon Street?
No, not anymore. There's a Nixon nothing out here.
Really?
Yeah, they don't even have his office marked. If you were here long enough, everybody points up to the building and said that's where Nixon's office was, but all the marks are gone. Yeah.
Wow. They want to know about Newt the polar bear over in Germany. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw it on Yahoo, and I said, "Oh, I hope the damn polar bear bit him."
Well,
I don't know if he did or not.
The problem is little cute Newt, as they called him, was cute for a while, but now Newt's big enough to kill a guy.
Ah.
They just announced very quickly that he will no longer be performing with human beings. Wondering what the story is behind the story there.
I don't know. I play poker a lot, and the cards that you get have names. Like 2 aces are called American Airlines. 2 kings are called Cowboys.
Okay.
And 2 queens are called Siegfried and Roy.
Really?
And I thought I was just going to spill my drink when they told me, "Do you get Siegfried and Roy?" And I said, "What?"
Great.
"You got queens." I said, "It took me about 2 seconds till it registered."
That's terrific.
Yeah, well, the demographics in the LA Times were that it was, I think I have it right, 55 and older men, 60% were the evening news watchers, and they've dropped like a rock. You know, I mean, give them what they want. Don't try to cram something down their throat they don't want. They didn't want Dan Rather, we know that. So, but I think Katie Couric was a bad replacement. So, you know, the poor woman is drowning, and there's nothing anybody can do, and they're going to flail around for a while and then give up on her. I mean, I don't know what rocket science, you know, probably the same guy that got rid of classic Coke and invented new Coke made that decision, you know.
You're right. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you're on the right wavelength there, because
who knows? I mean, it's a weird business, I tell you.
Very, very strange business, and it's not over yet. I mean, you know, they might hit the right formula. But Katie Couric, I would put her in very conservative clothing, put her behind a desk, and broadcast in black and white.
No, I would put her in front of the weather map, and
I'd let her smoke cigarettes too.
I think she's a weather girl. She's out of her element.
And they have yet another relationship expert, this woman who's a life coach.
that's always a tip-off, yeah.
And now, what a great way to make money. And I was thinking, why don't they put our Don Steele on there? Why don't they put, you on TV? I don't know if they've ever offered you this, but at least you tell it like it is, but maybe that's what they're afraid of.
I've been offered a couple of dating shows, and my wife is still not happy that I told them to shove it.
Yeah.
But basically, they want you to get on there and embarrass people, humiliate people.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to do that. I will give people my views, but I'm certainly not going to make them feel bad. I'm not going to make fun of them, and I'm not going to talk down to them. And that was the end of the...
Well, why spend money in decent production values and try to make something good when, for a third of the price, a quarter of the price, you can just make fun of them and make everybody laugh. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, the internet dating thing is just a giant money-making scam, and I've been asked on many shows about it because it's in the newspapers all the time and on radio shows, and basically what you get are women who can't get a date advertising to men who can't get a date, and you have these two socially inept people trying to get together, and it's just a disaster. Most of the women are, shall we say, physically not up to par for most of them, and if they are crazy, in simple English. Most of the women are pretty nuts, okay, pretty crazy, and they like to do a lot of emailing, tremendous email. They don't want to meet for coffee. They want to email back and forth at least 20 times, and they really don't want anybody to see them.
What, the men?
The women.
Oh, the women, okay.
see, and I have these poor guys that didn't have a dad or didn't have a big brother, or were in the chess club in high school or the computer club, and now they're 30, 35 years old, and they have no social skills. So I tell them, well, go out with these internet women. Just practice getting dressed, going down, showing up on time, saying hello, shaking hands, sitting down, ordering coffee, carrying on a conversation, complimenting her on something, and then leaving. Go on 20 of these time-limited coffee dates and get over the jitters. Learn how to have a conversation with somebody, a stranger. It's very, even if you're going out with a normal person, it's very, first dates are just agony for everybody. It's just nervous. So if you go on 20 first dates, when somebody that's not from the internet you have a chance with, then it's much easier for everybody. But
in a serious side, what you're saying is a lot like what they tell you when you're looking for a job or
same thing.
Exactly. Practice. Yeah. Go out in a lot of jobs you don't even want to get, just to get used to the first process of walking through the door,
shaking hands,
nervousness, shaking hands.
Tell me about yourself. You got to get that down. Women ask you the same thing. My favorite manipulative question women ask these guys is, have you met many interesting women on Match.com? And the guy has to be able to handle that. And the answer is, yes, I have. And one of them is sitting right across from me, and smile.
That's nice.
And see what happens. It's a shame. And the poor guys are just as bad as the women. I'm not picking on the women. I only know about the women because I hear all this feedback from these guys of mine who go out there and do it.
Well, we're back to wrap up and leave. How's that for a quickie on the radio? Don Steele?
I enjoyed it as always, Brian.
Always a pleasure, my friend. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Okay, if you go on an internet date, be sure to set a time limit of 45 minutes, and 35 minutes look at your watch and say, geez, I've got to go. I had a really good time. Nice to meet you. Don't say I'll call you. That's rude.
And don't say I'll instant message you either. That's not even good either. And don't say let's go home and download.
No, don't do it downloading.
All right. Don Steele, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Brian.
I'm Brian Smith. Reverend Chris is my producer.